South Africa have announced their ODI squad for the series against Bangladesh, and much to many people, I think, would be happy with the selections, being that it is I think, a fully strength South African squad that they've kept the momentum leading from the ODI series against India, keeping a similar team for this particular series. All the big guns are there, including the guys that will be involved with the IPL. So that's good to see. The only person that's not available is Anrich Nokia. He's still injured. Unfortunately, that is something that we need to deal with, and I hope that he recovers very, very quickly because we need him back and fully fit again, especially in Test cricket. And yeah, and Sisanda Magala didn't make the cut either. So we will be chatting about this particular series, and I'll be showing you the squad. We'll be discussing the squad. I'll also read out to you Victor Impetsang's comments as well to let you know what he had to say as well. But to all of the guys that have tuned in, and this is your first time here, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. And do that with everybody you know, in every single video that we have available. To smash that like button. It helps us, and it will make our lives a lot easier going forward. Also, don't forget to download the latest issue of the magazine. The link is on the screen and in the description. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. You can also help us out by becoming a patron. So the link is on the screen and in the description. Cool. So now that I've got all of that out of the way, let's get straight into today's topic. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And I'm here with Werner today, and we're going to be discussing the ODI squad. We're still waiting on Aditya to still join us, but we'll be discussing the ODI squad, basically giving our insights into it. I'm going to first give a quick overview until Aditya arrives, and then we can go to the two panelists to ask them what their thoughts are. But ultimately, a full strength team has been selected apart from Anrich Nokia. The series will be from the 18th to the 23rd of March in Centurion and Johannesburg. It will be part of the ICC World Cup Super League, so that's important. So it's very, very important that we do win these games. Temba Bavuma obviously will lead the side in an unchanged outfit, with the exception of Sisanda Magala, who is not available for selection due to a failed fitness test. Anrich Nokia was also not considered, as he continues his rehabilitation from his hip injury. And the squad that was selected, I will get to after this, but this is what Victor Impensang had to say. I have to obviously let you guys know what he had to say about the selection. He said, the national selection panel and I are looking forward to another exciting ODI series at home. With the ICC World Cup qualification points in the balance, it was vital for us not to tinker with a winning combination. After a great performance against a very strong Indian side, we felt it was important to reward the good performances of the previous series and to continue to back this growing team. Consistency in selection and performances are just some of the key elements that need to be looked after, especially when building up to a World Cup. And we were looking forward to seeing what this Temba Bavuma-led group will produce against fresh opposition in the coming weeks. On behalf of the panel, I would like to wish him and the coach Mark Boucher all the best for the series. So that's quite interesting what Victor Impensang had to say. The squad. So I've split it up once again. We've got Temba Bavuma, Yanaman Malan, Quinton de Kock, Zubair Hamza, Calvin Rayner, Aiden Markham, David Miller, Rassie van der Dussen. Then in the all-rounder department, we've got Dwayne Pretorius, Andile Pechlekwayo, Marco Jansen, Wayne Parnell, And then in the seamer category, Lungi Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada. And then for the spinners, we've got the Bray Shamsi and vice captain Keshav Maharaj. So those are the names that are available. Welcome to the show, Aditya. So guys, let's get into it. I would like to hear your points on this. Let's start with you, Werner, and then we can move over to Aditya. What's your thoughts on the squad? Are you happy that they've kept consistency?
Um, yes and no. Uh, I think that the squad is pretty predictable. I felt like we could have maybe given a chance or two to a few fringe players. I would have loved to see Ryan Rickleton still in the squad. Maybe get somebody like Otniel Bartman in to the squad. But I'm alright with it. Obviously, we need the points. So that's the idea, I guess, of the series. Based on the players that were picked, they're going all out to win this series 3-0, which I guess is necessary based on where we are on the standings right now. But I feel we could have probably won the matches even if we did give a few other guys the opportunities to play. But yeah, Magala's not there because he didn't pass a fitness test. It's interesting. I wonder what the differences is between the fitness standards for the Proteas and for the provincial sides, seeing as Magala was playing the 4-day series up till yesterday. Um, and then, yeah, obviously Norkia, it's sad about his situation. I hope he does um, recover fully at some stage. It seems like it's going to be a long, hard road for him. It's been over 3 months, and they're still saying he's still seeing orthopedics, and they haven't quite pinpointed exactly how to fix the problem. So it's a shame. So I hope they do manage to sort that out because he's such a vital player in our side. So I we all want to see him back. I'd probably say don't go to the IPL. I'm sorry, Delhi Capitals. I know it's a huge loss to you, but there's no use risking him for a couple of games at the end if he isn't fully fit to go. Or maybe he does go there and they can help sort things out. I don't know, but hopefully
But I think he
he's
hasn't bowled since November, right? So he can't
yeah
play
he
anyway.
yeah. So I don't think he should go.
Uh,
He should probably just stay here and get people to figure things out. Get those bowling loads up. Hopefully in time he doesn't have that discomfort anymore. But the squad as a whole seems solid. But as I say, no real surprises, no real. Uh, a couple of guys I would have loved to see in there. Even Tristan Stubbs, I would have loved to see in the squad. But I'm not surprised that he wasn't picked. It's just that I'd like to see a few other faces as well. But I can understand the point of view of wanting to play your full strength side to get the points.
so, Aditya, this is where I want to ask you questions because we had a whole debate yesterday, and this is basically almost you could say a continuation in a way. If we're talking about this particular topic, the first match of the IPL starts on the 26th of March. Chennai Super Kings versus Kolkata Knight Riders. Now, my question to you is: will there be time or enough time for these players to get back? And what is the quarantine rules? And what's going to be happening with regards to? Have they released any information about that? If they don't get there in time at the beginning of the start of the tournament, does that mean the IPL they have to basically can the first couple of games or the first game that they play, or how does it work?
From the information that we've got so far, it's a 3-day quarantine for all the players coming in, but that could be exempt if they're traveling from one bubble to the other. Um, so I don't know what the bubble situation is like for the series against Bangladesh, but I think that will determine whether or not they do a quarantine. But either way, if the full strength squad, the IPL guys play the ODI series, which I imagine they will, I'm guessing they miss at least the first 2 or 3 games of the IPL. Uh, so that's my guess. I don't know. There hasn't been any communication as such from either party.
Yeah, Vanna might as well just leave the tournament then if they're going to miss the food. No, I'm joking. Uh, Well, I was told if you miss the first couple of the games of an important tournament, you don't have to go anymore. It's reported. So, but that's a little personal thing between the three of us. But guys, let's continue that this conversation, because I think what we need to discover over here is that it's crazy. Like, I'm gonna look at Zubair Hamza and just pick him out as one example, but he pretty much went from not knowing if he's going to be in a Proteas setup again to being in every single Proteas setup in a row. Like, he went from thinking that he's going to be playing locally to being selected for the Test series in New Zealand, and then playing on top of it. Like one day he's not doesn't even know if he's going to go, and the next day he's just like playing a Test match against the best team in the world, and now he's in the ODI series for the Proteas again. So yeah, interesting that they've kept the same selection. What's going to be interesting to me is how they're going to line up and how much game time, for example, is Wayne Parnell going to get. I think that's a major talking point over here, I think, with the selection again. Is Wayne Parnell's inclusion in the squad. It seems to be like he's slowly but surely becoming a fixed part of this Proteas squad that they think is their main 16-man squad. Will he fall out when Andrich comes in? One of the all-rounders could be sacrificed. It's possible. Or will, or how do you see this going when Andrich Nokia is fit? Which one gives way over here?
I don't know, is that question for me?
Just the panel.
It's a tricky question, right? Because on the one hand, you want to give players as much game time as possible. Certainly, players like Wayne Parnell, who played against the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken, but then hasn't really played in Proteas colours thereafter. And on the other hand, you want to make sure that you're playing the conditions and you're playing the opposition too. So it's a balance that they're going to have to figure out. But with respect to Andrik Nokia, they're going to miss that element of pace, because if you look at the USP of the white ball team with KG and Andrik in there, that's pace, and that's certainly uh, against Bangladeshi players who don't get exposed as much to that sort of pace on a regular basis. So in this case, they're probably going to have to find other ways of beating Bangladesh. Not to mention that Bangladesh will be significantly weakened by the absence of Shakib Al Hassan, who, for a variety of reasons, has chosen not to participate in the tour. Uh, but if I were to select, I'd probably give more game time to players who don't typically get a lot of game time in white ball cricket, which is Zubair Hamza and Wayne Parnell. And I agree with Werner that Ryan Rickleton, Tristan Stubbs should have been a part of this squad. If there's ever a time to experiment, this is it.
Werner, I don't know if it was on purpose, but it's gonna might turn out to be a genius stroke from South Africa. Not a genius stroke, but an important moment in progression for South Africa to play against this team that seems to be good spinners of the ball, etc. If they do have, if their spinners do come to the party without Shakib Al Hassan, of course, who's probably their best spinner. But ultimately, if you look at it from this perspective, the other spinners are still going to probably offer a lot and test South Africa, especially the likes of Yanaman Malan. We know the guys that have struggled in the past. But when it comes to this particular game, St. George's Park as well as Durban are the two venues that are conducive to spin in South Africa. It's come to it's a slower wickets. It's going to be testing them in a way that they will probably be tested in India, and this is obviously going to be a preparation for that. Though, if that was on purpose and they decided, okay, subcontinental team is coming down, we're going to play on them in slower wickets. If that was like an actual in their thinking, it does surprise me a little bit that they haven't gone for someone maybe like George Linders, Senator Mutasami, a spinning all-rounder to throw them into the mix as well, in this particular squad. They've tended to stick with their seeming all rounders over here, and one of them either I'm reading the picking order out. George Linder maybe could have been in the squad, giving some important game time, seeing that he might become handy in India if we make it till if we do well, of course, and we need him in the tournament. But what's your thoughts on that? Because I see four seeming all rounders in the squad over here.
Yeah, you need to remember the ODIs are not at St. George's and in Durban. The ODIs are at Supersport Park and the Wanderers, so they're not going to play a bunch of spinners. They're not going to play Linda, and they were never going
Flip.
to. So
That was
yeah,
my bad. I read it out at the beginning of the show. Never mind. Cancel everything I said. Cancel the
no,
show.
let's talk about
Okay.
this, Khalid. You made a mistake. You need to get this out. So yeah, no. So they were never going to play more than Keshav and Shamsi, and I think even playing both of them is a stretch at Supersport Park and the
Yeah.
Wanderers. But they probably will, because Keshav is like almost like the understudy. What's the word now? What captain? Vice captain. He's the vice captain
captain.
for Temba. Understudy. He's the vice captain for Temba, so it's a good chance that he will play with Shams in the same team, even though it's probably not conducive at Super Park and the Wanderers. But yeah, they were never going to play any more spinners. They probably use Markram still, now that he still is in the squad, which I feel is pretty lucky. He'll probably be the extra spinner if they need that option. So yeah.
Yeah, the tests are going to be there. My bad. So yeah, mixing up all the dates, mixing up all the days and everything, guys. Been a long month. Look here, and it's only the start of the month. But look here, when we talk about this particular squad, then Supersport Park, Johannesburg, it hasn't been necessarily the same type of wicket, but maybe it will be prepared differently, obviously for the ODIs. White ball cricket might be different there. We'll get maybe a taste of it soon, hopefully. I think we'll get a taste of it maybe soon. I haven't looked at the full fixtures of the One Day Cup, but there will be some maybe One Day Cup fixtures. Let me just double check that before I say it with my chest. Okay. So there will be at Supersport Park on the 11th. There will be a match, and as well as the Wanderers. So we will be able to see some One Day Cup games over there to see how the wicket's going to be. We'll be able to do more analysis based on that, the scores scored, etc. So that's going to be interesting. South Africa currently are in a situation where they know they need to win every single game. So the important part about it is that we need to keep some consistency between everybody, that they can get some momentum going in. Now, there's been worries over certain players, and like I want to bring this up again, and I haven't gotten Werner's point of view on this, and I think it's smack bang in the middle. But for players like Ngidi and Andre Nokia, who are coming back from injuries, wouldn't it be wiser for them to get themselves ready for the national side and just say, you know what, let's not do the IPL this season. Let's play for our national side. For certain players, because I think for every single player it will be different. Werner, what's your thoughts on that? On these players for the Test series going forward, of course, as well, because I think that's going to be that's the most important part, I feel, about these players, because they're not going to be missing the ODIs, which is cleared up now. But for that next step, because Anrik missing this particular tour means I don't think he would be ready to play in the IPL, so his focus should be on this. But what about Lungi Ngidi?
Yeah, no, I've said what I thought about Andrich, and I don't think he should end up playing the IPL. He needs to recover fully. We probably need him in England. But Lungi, yeah, he has had some injuries, but it seems he will be fine to play in this ODI series. And I think he gets better the more games he plays. So I would say, no, play the Test, go play the IPL. know how many games he will get. I think the good thing for him is in this case, and it's unfortunate for Norkia, is he's in the same side. He's also at the Delhi Capital, so maybe because of Norkia's injury, he might get some more game time than he did last year. Maybe they end up going for somebody like Mustafizer, I think is in the same squad. I haven't really looked at the squads too closely, but maybe Ngidi gets some more game time, and I think he'll get better with some more game time, help with his match fitness, and build up some overs in the legs before the New Zealand Test Series, even though it's a different format. So I think more game time will probably be better for Lungi, because I think it's the stop-start that's the problem. I think some consistent games will do him a world of good. But that's just my opinion.
Aditya, where do you see Markram, for example, in the picking order at his IPL franchise? Do you think that you will get significant amount of game time, or do you think you'll see the bench more often than see game time?
I think he will feature in the first 11 of his team, because I believe Kane Williamson has announced that he's going to open the batting, which means that Markram is likely to come in at 3 or 4. So if you look at that team, it looks like Markram can play at the minimum. He'd play about 10 games.
Okay, interesting. And
it'll probably Williamson, Puran, and Markram in that like top 5. So yeah,
okay.
I think
So-
Markram should get a good amount of games.
So did you take your IPL cap off for a second? If you were to be Aiden Markram's advisor at this particular time in his career, would you tell him to go play in the IPL? Do you think that will maybe do him some confidence and get his confidence back up, or would you say go fight back for your test spot and play against Bangladesh, where you might be able to get some momentum against Bangladesh, where it all started for you, get that back, get that confidence back in the test arena, so that you can be a lot more of a proper or mainstay in the test side, in that middle order, if he's going to bat in the middle order?
This is a particularly difficult question because it's Aiden Markram we're talking about. For another player, it might have been a bit more, clear cut, yes or no. With Markram, it's a difficult one just because of the form that he's shown in Test cricket recently, and one would imagine that this is a perfect opportunity for him to play Bangladesh, and perhaps be kind of relieved of the pressure, of playing like a really challenging, competitive test side. No disrespect to Bangladesh at all. On the other hand, I feel like, if Markram has some time away from the game, given the amount of scrutiny that he's been under for Test cricket, it might help him, just to be away from that limelight and play the IPL. So honestly, it's a 50-50 answer. I think in either case, it would work for Markram. But given Dean Elgar's recent statement that their choices will indicate what their loyalty is, I don't know what decision he'll make ultimately.
What did you make of those comments, and how would you feel if players decide to choose playing in the IPL over playing for South Africa in the Test series?
Yeah, I think I said in the comment section that size. Oh, I asked you the question. What did you make of it? Because I think it made it more difficult for the players, to be honest. Saying it's a test of their loyalty and stuff like that. It's easy for Elgar to say. He doesn't play the IPL. He doesn't even play limited overs format for South Africa. So it's a lot easier to say that he doesn't have like an 18 million rand contract that he'll miss out on some if he doesn't go to the IPL and miss some matches, or maybe even not get a contract going forward. Not that would happen with Rabada, but maybe some of the other players. So it's a tough one. I wouldn't hold it against the players if they do decide to go through the IPL. in the end they are still playing to have some financial freedom going forward, because you only play up till most players don't go past 40. Not everybody's Imran Tahir or Brad Hogg, so not everybody goes on after 40. So and they want to be set for the rest of their lives, and the IPL provides that opportunity. So I can understand if they do decide to go to the IPL. Obviously, I'd love to see them play the Test series. I want to see them play for South Africa. Want to see our best team play against Bangladesh, but I wouldn't hold it against them for one moment if they do decide to go to the IPL.
Can I just add like two things really quickly? A similar situation had arisen in 2019 before the World Cup when the management had requested KG Rabada, Quinton de Kock, and a couple of others to rest and be fresh before the World Cup.
Otis gave a letter
and
in. Yeah, he sent a
and
letter
that was
into BCCI.
and that was a private conversation. I like we didn't really learn of it till much after the World Cup. So I think just from the way that situation was managed, it was managed in a better way than this situation has. Because as I said yesterday, and I'm saying today again, I'm not a fan of the way Dean Elgar has handled the situation. It has, as Werner said, made life a lot more difficult for the players. And the second thing is, what's the second? The dates of the Test series. The Test matches. The second Test ends on the 12th of April, I believe. So by the time assuming the players who are contracted for the IPL play the Test series, they wouldn't get to the IPL and probably play the first game till the fourth week of it, which is a consideration for them and the franchise.
The scheduling is just poor because they knew the IPL was going to be in April. It never starts later than the 1st of April. Yes, this time it starts the 26th of March already, but we all knew it wouldn't start later than the 1st of April. So they scheduled this test knowing that already. So they knew the situation would arise. So it's just bad planning. I know it's hard to get
It's
the schedule in with everything with New Zealand and with having lost some matches in 2020, but still it feels like there needed to be some
but
kind
it's
of
not.
workaround. Schedule the
It's,
test first, then the ODIs, whatever.
uh, it's not just that though. I think it's also because of the One Day Cup, the 4 Day series, a lot of other South African local games that were also been playing at the venues that they were going to be obviously also using during this period. Of course, it's also South Africa summer. Well, it's ending now. I think obviously it will end now soon, and then it's straight afterwards to England, where they have to, where the quarantine was obviously going to be different. Also, the quarantine situation, COVID. So I do understand why they put this particular test in this period, but it does feel a little bit, congested. But I can understand why it was difficult to schedule a test series and an ODI series. That is for points as well. It had to be played. It's not like they had a choice. They had to fit it in somewhere in the schedule. And with the One Day Cup happening, that they need to fit in the 4 Day series. Remember, there's two divisions as well with regards to that as well. So it makes it a lot more tricky to find venues and to host a team and to get a place bubbled friendly, all of those type of things. So yes, there is merit to what you are saying, Werner. But what I think they needed to do is, when they schedule that tour, they should have had conversations with the IPL already and try to figure out some sort of agreement of how try to understand what is going on, how the players feel about it, and where they stand. If there's something that can be worked out, maybe a different type of package that could have been worked out or something, if they South Africans are that important to this particular games, of course, to this franchise's needs. So yes, there should have been better planning with regards to the communication as well. I do think so. But let me just get into the comment sections. So I'm just going to try to get some of the bottom few that have come in, because it's going to be crazy for me to go right to the top. If you guys become patrons, then you will get individual shows where we just answer your questions all day long. Let's just say, a teacher, I can't for the life of me understand how people can still defend Markram. For how long are we going on hope?
Um, Look, I don't think we're defending Markram. Um, it's not a defense of Markram. I think one thing is undeniable is that Markram is an unbelievable talent who is going through a horrible patch. Um, and we can't have this policy of you know keep him going till he's doing well and then drop him when he's not. I think we have to give players the opportunity to get back into form. And technically, he's had two poor series. In this particular, you look at quarantine, for example. In this period, a lot of players have complained about the fact that their rhythm has been lacking. For a variety of reasons. Perhaps the same could have happened to Markram. And I just feel like this Bangladesh series is that one opportunity at home where he could perhaps um, sort of ensure that test spot is his. 200s in two games, maybe. Who knows? Uh, so yeah, it's not a defense of Markram. It's just giving a player an opportunity, perhaps the last opportunity, to ensure that he can cement his place.
Awesome. Um, let's go move on to the next one. Uh, Australia. That's Australia. Let's get Werner. Let's give this one to you. Why are we wasting time on Wayne Parnell? It's time to move on. Give that place to some new, younger player. Thoughts?
I don't know if we're wasting time. He has shown form for the Vietnam, for Western Province. So I don't know. I do feel like we could probably try some other players. I'd give somebody like Delano Potgieter a go in the side, or in the squad at least. Get him into the environment. I think he has real talent. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know where to place Wayne Parnell right now because I don't see him picking up a lot of wickets. Maybe he can keep it tight, but his batting has become a lot better, but his bowling hasn't really improved much. So I don't really know where to place him right now. I know he's sort of a leader. He's captained Western Province in that one day cup last year. Um, so it's a hard one to place exactly where Wayne Parnell fits in. I don't even know if he'll get game time.
Yeah, these a strange one for me from my perspective when I look at it as well. Abel Khalid, why is Linda being ignored? I don't understand why he has been ignored since the in recent times. It actually makes no sense to me because I feel that having him in the setup would have been perfect as a third all rounder. I mean, me personally, I would have rather gone for George Linder than Wayne Parnell. If it's a number thing, if it's a quota thing, um, let me just have a look at the squad again and put it up on the screen. One, two. There's 7 players of color in this particular in the squad. Um, so it could possibly be because of that. There's 8. Sorry, there's 8 players of color. Without Wayne Parnell, there's 7. If you have to take Wayne Parnell out, so maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's a quota situation. Perhaps it's just they are sticking to their guns and rewarding good form. Because he did have a good T20 competition coming back. They've selected him in the squad. Same with Simon Harmer, selected him in the squad. Same with Duan Olivier, selected him in the squad. All Colpack players coming back into the sides. So maybe they're just being consistent with regards to rewarding these players if they're doing well.
But if that was the case, Riley Rousseau should be in the squad.
Well, Riley Rousseau is a difficult situation, a different situation. I think. Riley Rousseau has only played T20 cricket for his franchise. He's not playing all formats for his franchise. For example, he hasn't played in all formats for his franchise. For example, he's gone and played other T20 competitions around the world. So I don't know how available he is, even though he says he is available. Would he have been able to play this tournament? This a particular ODI series, possibly. He is a good player that I think could have been added to the squad, but I think there's more spots available for Wayne Parnell than for Riley Rousseau, I feel, in the squad if they are trying to stick with the guys that they've stuck with. So the younger guys that they have gone with, Yanaman Malan, Zubair Hamza, I feel that they think that is the future with our batting lineup, and they feel that they can experiment a little bit more with their all-rounders. But it seems like they've gone for 8 quotas, 8 to fit the quotas. Gone for 8 quotas. That's wrong. They've gone for 8 players of color to fit the quotas. So
You're gonna cause a riot.
they've gone for 8 players to fit the quotas to make sure that their bases are covered when it comes to players of color. Maybe, perhaps that's the reason. But when I see it, I do think that George Linder has been mistreated a little bit when it comes to South Africa, because I do think that he's done enough to be in the squad. Maybe he hasn't done enough with the bat. I think that could be a factor, and maybe they think that at the moment that Keshav Maharaj, being the vice captain, can provide a similar output than George Linder currently. Given they might not be the same types of batters that are going to smack the ball out of the ground, etc., but they can do a little bit of a cameo down the order. Maybe they can maybe pick an extra seaming all-rounder and then play Keshav Maharaj as well on top of that. But they probably won't go for 2 spinners. So your vice captain's probably going to sit on the bench, or does he? Or does Shamo sit on the bench? Which will be crazy for me, because I think Shamo's a way better spinner to have in the side. So it is a bit tricky. I would have also maybe gone with, like I said, the ODI series would have been a perfect opportunity to see some younger guys get opportunities, like Tristan Stubbs and those dudes. And let the IPL guys go to the IPL. Because in this particular case, they're the ones, the IPL guys like Aiden Markram and Rassie van der Dussen and those guys, I think it would have been okay for them to leave for this particular series. Because Rassie is crazily in form, so his spot is not even, you don't even have to worry about his spot. And then with Aiden Markram, he needs to get some sort of clear his head and get some momentum going. Yanaman Malan is ahead of him in my eyes when it comes to the ODI side, even though in certain cases we might see something different happen because now Aiden spins a bit. So there's that as well. But I would have liked to see a Tristan Stubbs get an opportunity as well. Lorenzo Bailey coming in with a super chat, giving his team. He says Quinton de Kock, Yanaman Malan, Temba Bavuma, Aiden Markram, Rassie van der Dussen, David Miller, Marco Jansen. Who's KM?
Kagiso Mabada.
Keshav Maharaj, KG, Luki Gidi, and TS is Trabay Shamsi. Sure. I'm having a shocker tonight, guys. Gee whiz.
Looks like a good team to send out to Durban and St. George's.
Yeah. I think he picked for the team he picked for the grounds that I'm going to be watching the ODIs at. Sitting there in Durban waiting for the game, but it's raining. Let's move on from that. It's a good team. Thanks a lot. I saw something of a year that I wanted to. I've lost it again. So guys, we there's so many. I have to thank all of you guys. There's so many great comments coming in over here every single day, and I want you guys to continuously do so. But it makes it hard for us to read all of them. So you need to do what Lorenzo did. Get involved with the super chat to make sure if you really want us to read your comments, then go ahead and do so. Get your super chats in, and then we can obviously ask them out on the show. and then we'll definitely ask you questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to take it at random when I see it. I won't be able to keep up with everybody. Is there any chance that David Bellingham? No, there's no chance that he will be playing for South Africa in the Test series against Bangladesh. Not a chance at all. He left beforehand because of for Durham duty. He's there for preseason. There's no chance. There would have been conversations happening already if that was the case. So, unfortunately, we have to maybe look past David Bellingham right now. Seeing the way things unfolded recently, I think we must look past that and try to turn our attentions to other players that have made themselves available now exactly for South Africa and are going to be playing for South Africa. We currently have such a young, good core of Test cricketers that we just need to give extended runs currently, I feel. Keegan Peterson, we've got Zubair Hamza as well in the squad that could be back up. Then we've got Calvareno that has got a ton, Salvo Earvio is an opener. So there's a lot of players that are there that are looking for extended runs right now. I don't think there will be a spot available for David Bellingham at this moment. They are keen to keep Rassie van der Dussen, it seems, as well. Even though my opinion is different, I think maybe we should give maybe a younger guy opportunity at that number 5 spot in Test arena. But that's nothing against Rassie. I just think that I would like to build for a future. I would like to build towards the next Test championship. If we can win this Test championship, great. But I would like to build for the next one and make sure that we have a core unit that can compete against every single team in the world. And that's what I would like, actually, at the end of the day.
Also, the team has been selecting based on a certain pecking order, and certainly evidenced by Sarah Larrabee's selection. Despite the fact that Ryan Rickleton was the informed player there. So yeah, I don't know how far down the pecking order David Bellingham is right now, and yeah, that might probably take a while.
I think David would have been, if it was me, I would think David would have been behind Rassie. That's where I would have put him in the pecking order. I would have said, if Rassie's not available, then David goes in for Rassie. Straight swap. We also have Ryan Rickleton, forgot to mention, as well as we all know, also in the squad, traveling from bubble to bubble. That is also a backup for Rassie, you could say, that number 4 spot, ultimately. So I would have had Bellingham as a replacement for either Rassie, or possibly even you could put him in that Pavuma position. But I think Calvareno plays that Pavuma role pretty well as well. So you could shuffle around some things, maybe add Rickleton, have Reina, and have Bellingham if that was the case. Dex says we will see David Bellingham in 2024-25 Ashes as a series under 3 Lions badge, Werner.
They could sure use him. I think if you're looking at how England are batting now and how we batted in the first test against New Zealand, we might see a couple of tests end in 2 days, just before tea time, when we play England in August.
That's funny. Hey, you know what, guys? You know what is funny? What I've noticed right now. So everybody was complaining about South Africa's Colpacks leaving, right? And they were like, the Colpacks are gone. We need the Colpacks back into the side. We need the Colpacks available, blah, 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 blah. We need to come back straight into the team. And they're better than the players that we have available. All of those things. And then Mr. Wayne Parnell gets selected, and then everybody's like, why is Wayne Parnell get selected? He shouldn't be selected. It's a Colpack player. He went overseas, did okay. Came back, Colpack player gets selected. It's what we wanted to see. And no, the wrong Colpack. They want this. I know which ones they want. Specifically, we know which Colpacks they want. So with regards to Simon Armour and regards to Duan Olivier, and that was just a joke, guys, just to rile you guys up a little bit. Yeah, the Colpack conversations are going to be one that we're going to have forever. But I think currently the way this team is set up, I don't think any Colpack player walks into this national setup. in my opinion. I didn't even think that Dwan Olivier should have walked in. That was my opinion initially, right at the beginning. You guys swayed me. The fan base swayed me. Some of the panelists swayed me in my decisions. Dwan swayed me a little bit in my interview that I had with him. And then it happened, and I was like, maybe I should have stuck to my opinion, because I don't think necessarily he's adding enough value to the team to be kept in that side. I think when Andrik Nokia is fit, I think it's chalk and cheese who we select. Andrik Nokia comes straight in for me, and Lungingiri and Kagiso Rabada are just excellent in my opinion. But yeah, so the Kolpak guys, it's not necessarily a need for them. Like I always said, we were always complaining about Kolpaks coming back in the side, yet we have hardly any batting Kolpaks that are playing overseas that can get into the side. Very few Kolpaks. I'm talking about guys that have played enough test matches to be considered Kolpak players. I'm not talking about overseas players. I'm not talking about ancestral visa players. I'm talking about guys that sign their rights away to play for the country. Kolpak is a whole different game than choosing to go play county cricket with an ancestral visa. Kolpak is a completely different situation, and we shouldn't paint it all with the same brush. Just to put it out there. And even though we were having batting issues, there were no Kolpak players that could have fixed our batting woes in Test cricket, at least. So bowlers, there were a lot of bowlers that left, and we understandable why they left, because we had better year, and that's my opinion, and I agree. That's what I believe. Kyle Abbott left, but he didn't leave South Africa in a hole. You know, he left, but we still had good players available to play for South Africa and still win us test matches. So Kyle Abbott didn't put us in a difficult situation. And the way Kyle Abbott left, I respect. And it's why I have major respect for Kyle Abbott. Because I was on that tour when he decided to call it quits. And he was very emotional about it. And he had spoken to many teammates, coaches, locally, as well as in the national setup, to ask them whether this is the right decision that he's going to be making. And is it the right decision that he's making for his career? And is it the right decision he's making regarding South Africa? And he obviously had those conversations with the coaches, and the coaches gave him advice, and they came to a mutual agreement, and he then signed a contract and left. So that's one of those situations, very unfortunate. Every situation is different. Like I said, you must always look at every single situation on merit. But guys, let's just wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please, guys, just remember, I know the live chat is getting hectic at the moment over the last couple of days, and I am loving it. Smash the like button. I want to see more than 30 likes on this video. Please get involved with the super chat. If you want us to ask your questions on the show and answer your questions, please do that. I believe you do take the same decision. I'm sorry, that I got stopped. Khalid, if you're Kyle Abbott situation, I believe you take the same decision. And that's why I said that, yes, I respect Kyle Abbott for making the decision he made. With a young Lungingiri coming through the system, a young Luther Pamla coming through after that, a KJ Rabada being in the prime of his career, Andrik Nokia bowling at 150. It would have been very difficult for Kyle Abbott to get into the side consistently, with Lungingiri obviously coming into the system and doing well, and obviously on his debut doing excellently well against India. So it was going to be difficult to fit Kyle Abbott into this regularly, and he made the right decision for himself and his career, and at the right time in his career. So I don't disrespect Kyle whatsoever. I think the way he went about it, the Kolpak deal, I don't mind players making the decision. I just don't like certain ways certain things are done. I like it to be done in the right way. Like I've always criticized the way Rai Rousseau did it. We were the narrative from Russell Domingo was that he got an email from Riley the morning that, I think it was on the same day that Kyle was going to announce his Kolpak deal. He got a little email from Riley after they've backed him and gave him plenty of chances in ODI cricket. even after Ducks and plenty of chances, and really wanted to invest in him as the next big star for South Africa. There was no conversations apparently had between Riley and the coaching staff and the players or anything. He just decided, he signed the contract and told Russell that he's leaving, rather than asking permission. And I thought that was a bit wrong in the way that he left. I also didn't like the way Duan Olivier also left, even though he might have done it in a less abrupt way. But I just feel after getting opportunities for South Africa and them showing him that they were going to back him, he still signed a callback deal. So that was also a little bit of a tricky one to digest. It's the right decision. I don't scrutinize you, but just do it in the right way. I think that's important to me. But let's just move on from that. I think I'm going to end the show right now. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember, get involved with the Super Chats. Smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight in your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, you can become a Patreon today. Please get involved with the Patreon. Link is on the screen as well in the description. If we get a lot of Patreons, guys, and we get that membership going, we will be doing a lot of exclusive content and different ideas and opening up. You'll be opening up so much doors and opportunities for us and for yourself, guys. We'll be able to give you guys exclusive interviews, exclusive videos that we will be doing just for you as well, for just our Patreons. So let's build that family and let's see how that grows. The link is on the screen as well as in the description as well. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Thank you, Werner. Thank you, Aditya, for coming on the show. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, everyone.